Welcome back to Dave and Jen Ignite. I'm Dave.
And I'm Jen, and welcome.
We're glad you're here today. Thanks for coming. And we're going to take a journey through the Word. And that means we're going to share with you our path, the journey we took in regards to which Bibles we've read through the years. As you can tell, we've got a couple of years on us. Obviously, I robbed the cradle when we got married, that kind of thing.
Yes, very definitely.
Absolutely. So, let's jump right in. Here we go. This was the very first Bible I began reading. It was called The Way, and you can tell this is from the 70s. Actually, it kind of looks almost 60s. It's the Living Bible Illustrated. So, this was a Bible that the church I was attending gave out, and this is actually given to my brother, Nick. And love you, Nick. He's in heaven now, but it was a little signature on the page with the pastor and congratulations and Philippians 4:6, a little dedication there. But it's very, very readable English, very contemporary in that sense, and paraphrased, not a true translation as we discussed in another video, which we'll link in the description. But it was a great Bible to start with. I loved it because I could understand it. So just very, very thankful to have that. And I think I'm sharing this whole journey we are because we want you to be comfortable with, the Bible you start with may not be the Bible you end up with. Right. And that's okay. If you've got one that you enjoy and you read and God speaks to you through that Bible, whether it's a paraphrase or otherwise, great, fantastic. Use it, and we'll give thanks that God's speaking to us.
Absolutely.
I had that one when I was a junior, senior in high school, and when I went off to college, the groups I was involved with, InterVarsity Christian Fellowship, and also Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and a little bit of Campus Crusade for Christ, we used the Revised Standard Version, and so I got a new Bible. And this one, I put a Bible reading plan in there and a few other things, but it is a very different kind of reading, much more study, and so it worked perfect for being in college and going through that. Towards the end of my college years, and actually our college years, because we got married while we were in college.
We did.
We were wee babes.
What's a wee babe?
But the New International Version had just come out. And so we were all excited that we could get hold of this. And so the New International Version, it was a single paragraph or a single column Bible. And so that was the latest and greatest at that point in time. And so read that. I had a poem that my mom had highlighted for me. And I'm going to take a moment and read it for you just because it's been great through the years. Sermons we see. I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day. I'd rather one would walk with me than merely show the way. The eye's a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Fine counsel is confusing, but example's always clear. And the best of all the preachers are the men who live their creeds. For to see the good in action is what everybody needs. I can soon learn how to do it if you'll let me see it done. I can watch your hands in action, but your tongue too fast may run. And the lectures you deliver may be very wise and true, but I'd rather get my lesson by observing what you do. For I may misunderstand you and the high advice you give, but there's no misunderstanding how you act and how you live. Edgar A. Guest. So I kept that taped into the front to make sure that I would live out what I was learning as well. It was a great, great lesson. So that was my third Bible. Graduated from college, went on to seminary, grad school, and kept that NIV Bible. Went through a number of other Bibles through the years, Reflecting God Study Bible and some others. But this has been my Bible for the last good number of years. It's the Life Application Study Bible. Great resources in the back in the sense of maps, which a lot of good translations have. Tables of weights and measures. When the Bible says, well, it was, 2 cubits wide or whatever, there's a translation for that. A reading plan in here as well. and great introductions to the books of each book of the Bible, and also some great footnotes. For example, our Sunday school class, we were studying in the book of Mark, and there was a reference to the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Well, in the footnotes, right here, it says the Passover and explains very briefly, just in a couple of sentences, what that was, and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, what that was. So that's very helpful as you study and go through. It's a lot of resources in one place.
Is this the New International Version as well?
Thank you. Yes, indeed. It is the New International Version as well. All right, sweetheart.
Well, my journey through the Word began, I know I had a really cool white Bible when I was very young. I unfortunately don't have that anymore, but the first one I remember reading as a teen, also because I could understand it, was the Good News New Testament. I believe that it was called Good News for Modern Man back in the dark ages when I was reading it. But again, it was contemporary English and it was very easy to understand. This is just the New Testament, but it was invaluable in my early days of growing in Jesus. I graduated from there and began reading the New American Standard Bible. Now, this was in the days when you could have your name, I think you still can, name engraved on the Bible, and this actually still has my maiden name on it. So I love it. My parents got me this, and I read it and read it and read it. I have lots of notes, cards and things, particularly from before Dave and I got married. And so I have those in here. I've underlined things. I've made a few marks here. You'll notice that part of it is blurred because of when we were camp counselors right after we got married, and we decided to have a water fight. Well, let me put it this way. The boys' cabin, under the fine direction of a said counselor, David Nicholson, decided to have a water fight. So they threw buckets of water through our windows while we were studying Philippians. So most of my book of Philippians is rather blurred, but we did enjoy the water fight. We went out and I think that we won. Anyway, but there's a lot of memories, wonderful memories in this study Bible. And as soon as Dave and I really started to study the Word together, early on in our marriage, a friend of ours gave me a copy of the New International Version as well, and that's what I've been studying ever since. I want to show you a couple of other Bibles. This little Bible we found not too long ago, and this was actually both of our children's Bibles. They both use this. Joshua's name is in it first, and then our daughter Hannah's name is in there as well. So that's really neat. It has some very cool pictures, and it's obviously something that they enjoyed in the New International Version as well. And just two more things that I want to share with you, because I do think that keeping some of the Bibles that we have studied all along with the notes that we've made in them can be really helpful in passing on our legacy of faith. I have a Bible from both of my grandmothers, and they have written notes inside in their handwriting and things that helped them in their walk with Jesus when they were into their 80s and their 90s. And this book from my grandma out in West Virginia is dated 1947, and she lived to be 96 years old. And having something that she wrote in that meant a lot to her is just invaluable. Our grandparents played such an important role in our lives as far as establishing our faith, as did our parents. So it was great to be able to have these, and I'll hang on to them. And who knows, maybe one of these days our grandchildren will go and find blurry Philippians and go, what in the world? And we'll have a good story for them. So
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Well, question for the day. What Bible did you start with? Again, we're here to ignite an interest, desire, and action for those who are new or renewed in their walk with Jesus Christ. Now, maybe you've been walking with God for a while, and so you may have gone through some sort of progression. Put in the comments below which Bible you started with. You know, maybe some special memory about getting that Bible or using that Bible or water on that Bible or something. Anyway, so we invite you to do that. If you're enjoying these videos, please do click like, subscribe. You can click on that bell and you'll get notifications about when we post a new video. We try and do that about once a week. And until then, I'm Dave.
I'm Jen, and Lord bless you. Have a wonderful week.
May it be so.